Hi friends, welcome to SPJK Technosoft, your one-stop training platform. In this video you are going to see the features of Hadoop 3.0, what is Hadoop, Hadoop architecture, what's new in Hadoop 3, HDFS erasure coding, Yarn timeline and architecture, support of opportunistic containers and distributed scheduling, supports more than 2 name nodes. In order to know full course details, email us at info@spjktechnosoft.com. Happy learning viewers. Intra-Data Node Balancer.
Hello everyone, welcome to our channel SPJK Technosoft. Before moving ahead, please subscribe to our channel for further new videos as well as further updates. Thank you. Moving ahead, let us see. So today as a part of this video, we are going to see Hadoop 3 architecture. So what are the things which have been added in Hadoop 3 as compared to Hadoop 2? And we'll compare both the versions to see what is there in Hadoop 3 so that we can utilize it for the big data solutions. Let us go into the agenda now. So we'll see what is Hadoop architecture, see what's new in Hadoop 3, SDFS eraser coding, Yarn timeline and architecture, support of opportunistic containers and distributed scheduling, supports more than 2 name nodes, intra-data node balancer. So let's see what is Hadoop now. So Hadoop, as we all know, that it's a solution for big data problems. Okay, so it's a technology to store massive data in a commodity hardware so that we can do further analysis using big data tools. Right, so it consists of basically 3 core components. So SDFS is for the storage part, MapReduce is for the processing part, and Yarn is for the resource management. Moving ahead, so this is what the architecture generally we have. We have the name node, we have different data nodes, and we have the replication factor. Basically, each and every data which is there and which is divided into different blocks, it needs to be replicated 3 times for the fault tolerance part. And then we have the racks where the data nodes or the data node servers are stored. So this is in brief the architecture of Hadoop. So to see all the Hadoop application in a nutshell, I have just provided a pictorial representation where you have the MapReduce data processing, Yarn resource management, and Hadoop. And on top of that, there are different type of application which can be utilized with integration of Hadoop for different purposes, like Pig, Hive for doing scripting, doing ETL processing or querying it. And then we have a Mahout, which is for machine learning. And then HBase, again, it's a NoSQL. We have Scoop. Scoop is basically used to transmit the data from SQL to the SDFS, from SDFS to SQL. So there is a name came as Scoop. Flume, we can transmit live data from Twitter or other sources using Flume. So these are the few of the tools which can be used to process the SDFS file systems or the data which is stored in the SDFS. So moving ahead, so 2x design. So this was basically a 2x design where we have a name node, we have different types of data nodes, and then whenever there is any kind of data which comes in, it is basically divided into the different blocks. So the block size by default is 128, and then we need to make 3 replicas because of fault tolerant. Even if one of the node goes down, we will have the 2 data points still left. So that was the trend in 2x, where it was very simple, scalable and robust, but the space occupation, if you see the space overhead here, it was 200% because of the replication. Okay, and it can tolerate maximum of 2 failures because there are only 3 replicas. So if 2 failures are there, third one, if it happens, we'll lose all the data. So this was the mechanism, or this was the architecture which was used for the 2x. Right. So what's new in Hadoop? Let us see. So if you see the features and the comparison between 2x and 3x, we see Java version, Java 7 is supported in 2x and Java 8 in 3x. same fault tolerance, we use replication there. This is a very important update in Hadoop 3. Now we use a eraser coding. We'll see what is eraser coding here. Okay. And then storage schema, we used to do 3x replication, which is a 200% overhead, and eraser coding for data reliability reduces 50% overhead. Yarn timeline service, scalability issues, and now highly scalable and reliable. Okay, because of the Yarn timeline services. Standby name node, support only one standby node, supports only 2 or more standby name nodes. Heap management, we need to configure Hadoop heap size, provides auto tuning of heaps. So these are the few of the differences between 2x and 3x. Okay. And now we will move on to the SDFS eraser coding, which has actually subsided the replication part. So now in the Hadoop 3 version, we need not have to do a replication, but we can use this technology by which we can easily save a lot of space, disk space, which will ensure that the processing is very fast because of the lesser storage space which is occupied by the blocks. Okay, so just for an example, if you see 2x, okay, so in that, if you have a file of 700 MB, we generally used to split like this, right? B1, B2, B3, B4, B5, and B6. Total 700 MB, and the block size, as I mentioned, default is 128. So if you see, the total is 700 MB, and if I make replicas of 3, so that will come to 2100 MB, right? So considering the scaling factor of this, so if we have say petabytes of data, then the replication factor will be in petabytes only, right? So that will eat up a lot of space, and the processing will become slow, and there will be a lot of issues also to manage the redundancy of the data. So now what eraser coding does, it's basically, it has been introduced by the Intel as well as Cloudera together. And say continuing with the same example, okay, once the data is split into several blocks in SDFS, it is passed on to EC, eraser coding as input, which returns a number of parity blocks. So this is the new things which we need to understand, number of parity blocks. Okay, this process is known as encoding. So what basically it does is that it encodes the data and keeps it at one parity block. Okay, data plus parity blocks is known as encoding group. So the data as well as the parity blocks is known as encoding group. In case of a failure or eraser, the data can be reconstructed from this encoding group known as decoding. So let us see the pictorial representation. If you see, there is block A1, A2, right? Block B1, B2, and block C1, C2. And these blue ones, if you observe, these are nothing but parity blocks. Block A1 and block A2, it is there in block AP. Okay, because A parity, P is for parity. So if you see the example here, so it is saying that block A1 and A2 equals to block AP, which is containing block A1 and block A2. So if any of the blocks get erased or corrupted, so by using the eraser coding mechanism, okay, we can, because it is in encoding format, we can easily decode and we can return the data. So now just see an example. There are 6 blocks. If we are using 2x, we need to make replica of 3. 6 into 3, there will be 18. Now we are having only 9. So around 50% of storage space which we are saving, and in return, what it will happen is that whatever the transactions and other things we will be doing it, whatever the data manipulations or data access, okay, so that will become, the processing will become much faster in this eraser coding technique, right? And again, this is another pictorial representation, the same thing. Okay, so the raw data splitting into different data blocks, and it encodes and it creates a parity blocks which store both data and the parity, right? And if you see, there are so many data blocks. So if you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 into 4, 24 data blocks But if 24 data blocks, if we need to replicate it, it will be around 72, right? But now you see this parity is how many are there? Only 12 are there. So we are saving around 10. It uses a logic, okay, k data blocks plus m parity blocks. Okay, so example, okay, if there are 6 blocks, there are 3 parity blocks for that. Okay, so this is how the eraser coding mechanism works. Okay, moving on to the next one, yarn architecture. As I told you that now, so this is architecture of the yarn where you have containers, application masters, okay, node managers. So resource manager, client requests anything, goes to the node manager, and application master is started, then application master again, sorry, it goes to the application manager, or then application master picks up the job, it assigns the content to the containers, and it verifies whether the task is completed or not. So different data nodes is there. So where we have different node managers performing the different tasks. And if you see the status of this, so MapReduce status, it is marked as this arrow, job submission, so dashed one, node status in blue, and then resource request like this. So this is basically a yarn architecture in a pictorial representation. And yeah, one more feature which is there is support for opportunistic containers and distributed scheduling. Like you know that because generally we have containers, and if the containers are idle, it basically sits in node manager. So in Hadoop 3, what it has done, the concept of execution type. If there are no resources available at the moment, then these containers wait at the node manager, right? So then opportunistic containers have low priority than guaranteed containers. If suppose guaranteed containers arrive in middle of the execution of opportunistic container, then later gets preempted. This happens to make room for the guaranteed containers. So that is where it is being divided into different groups. It is being segregated, the containers, and the whichever is required at the best point of time, that is being distributed and scheduled. Okay, and then so if we see still Hadoop 2 version, we have only one name node, and where there could be other standby name node, or we call it as a passive node, where what it will happen is that regularly it keeps on updating its FS image files and edit logs and those things, right? So just to make sure that the replicas of the name node is maintained in the standby name node. So but now what from this particular version 3 of Hadoop, we can have multiple name nodes, more than 2 name nodes basically, so that even if there are failure, so suppose I have a, just for an example, okay, I have a 3 or 4 name nodes, and even if 1 or 2 name nodes goes down, okay, so I can be assured that we have a name node which is still active and which is still being monitored properly, and it is interacting with data nodes and other resources properly. So that is what the new feature is there in Hadoop 3, which has made the system more highly available, right? So intra-data node balancer again. So our data node manages many disks, we know that, and so SDFS balancer is there, but what it does that it basically addresses internode, so one node to other node, data skew, and not internodes. But from this Hadoop 3 version, internode balancer addresses this situation. We have a command line interface, that is SDFS disk balancer invokes this balancing. Okay, so in this way we can fine tune the internode also. So this were the I should say few of the major differences between Hadoop 2 and Hadoop 3. So for more details, you can write back to us at info@spjktechnosoft.com. Please do subscribe to our channel and provide your valuable feedback. Thank you.
Thank you viewers for your time. I hope you have gained some knowledge from this video. Don't forget to subscribe our channel and press the bell icon to get latest trending technology videos. For any further queries, please reach us at info@spjktechnosoft.com. Please like, share and subscribe our channel. Thank you and goodbye.